Hey everyone, welcome back and good to have you guys back once again. And for this video, I'm just gonna kind of like loosely draw in these a couple of pairs, and I'll just talk about the different ways of shading and different ways of drawing. It's kind of fun and kind of loosens you up a little bit, you know, just so that you can get into the mode of sketching a little bit more. All right, so let's just try to sketch this, and I'll do it on these couple on these one piece of paper. So one way of drawing this is to start out kind of like an angular shape here. And this is just for sketching. And we'll talk about shading later. So I'm just trying to envision like almost like an envelope around the pear, you know, whatever reference image you use. Okay, so I'm just kind of blocking in. And then once you have this, then you can go in and start really drawing the curves. It's just a way of, you know, getting it more accurate, hopefully. Because if you start out with the curves, it's a little bit harder to judge. So now I'm just rounding. And luckily, obviously, these are just fruit, so we don't have to be all that accurate, but overall, you know, you do want to get the proportions a little correct, right? So that we can actually start shading. And shading is where we'll have more fun with this. Here's the leaf. Okay, so here's the middle of that. I'll just put a line. There's the seeds inside. All right, so in terms of shading, let's just kind of do it normally as I would. And I'm gonna keep this really light and very loose. So I'm just gonna start out with the stem. Get a nice dark area right there, and then shading the rest. And then for the skin, let's just give it one quick shade first. Okay, so the bottom right here, it's gonna be hard, so I'm turning my pencil. There's a nice edge right here, because it kind of sinks in. So just hit that hard first. And then the bottom's gonna be a little bit darker than this, so I'm just gonna hit that a little bit darker. Here's where it touches the, I guess, table. And this part should be a little bit darker because it's underneath. And then here the edge, rounding off, so you can just draw a line like this first and then smooth it out. Okay, so this edge right here, give this a little bit more emphasis because you know, this part is white inside, and you kind of want to exaggerate that. So again, here's the edge, make it a little bit darker, and then just kind of give it some variation because it's organic. You know, you don't want to have like really straight lines like here, what I've done here, but I can correct that. Let's do the inside, so the inside here. And not too much going on the inside here. I mean, if you want to go into the details, you know, you can start shading really lightly to get the details inside, but let's not do that because I just want to, it's still in the mornings, I just want to do some quick sketching. So again, here's the pear, and then here's the highlight. I can outline that. So let's just give this one shade, because I kind of want to shade it a couple of different ways, or maybe even a few different ways. Okay, so here, this part right here, behind it is dark, so I'm just gonna hit that, and that'll bring out this edge right here. So I'm cross-hatching. This is round right here, so it's gonna wrap around. So right here, this edge, again, I might have made it too dark, but it doesn't matter. Let's just go with it. It's okay to exaggerate. It's a little bit bounce light right here. And then this part is, let's see, this part right here should be a little bit darker because this is like a ball right here. Let's get in the bottom. The stem is dark, so I'm just gonna push right into it, and then you can add in some variations, you know, to make it a little bit darker in certain areas. Again, it's organic, so think of it that way. So this red right here should be a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna hit that. And then the edge again, fade that out. And leaf. Okay, and then I'm just kind of squinting my eyes, and obviously I think I made this one way too big, but it doesn't really matter in terms of the accuracy. So I'm just squinting my eyes just to see if I'm missing anything glaring. So I'm just coming back in and, you know, kind of crosshatch. Give it a little bit more shading. This part right here is darker. And to really set it on the ground, you know, really hit that, because right there it's pretty dark as it's touching. And then of course some shadow. That will help give these pears, kind of grounded. So that hopefully you can actually feel that your drawing is there. Okay. All right, so that's one way, and this is kind of like normally how I would sketch. Let's try another way, and this one, let's try it really fast. Let's see what happens. So this is just very, very loose exercise. I'll go with the curves this time. Here's the outer pear. We can do that, right? Okay, so let's do this. Now this is hard. Let's just hit that. And then let's just go right in and start shading. So this is like really loose stuff. It's actually very good practice. I love drawing like this, by the way. Don't spend too much time in one given area. Just keep moving, and you might feel a little frantic, as I do now. But it's almost like speed sketching, and it's just really good to get you loosened up and try to draw in, you know, the important things, the bigger features. And I always like it, you know, the look of it sometimes becomes a lot more livelier and just feels more like art. Okay. Hard edge here, hard edge here. Dark here on the bottom again. Okay, here's the middle. Let's do that. Edge here, edge, edge. I'm pushing in just to give it some variations, so that it feels a little bit more organic. Bounce light. Dark here on the edge. Let's exaggerate that a little bit. Bottom's dark. Give another shade. This needs to be darker. Pushing in, turning my pencil, pushing in. So like this, that looks good, right? It feels like there's life there. And here's the leaf. A little bit lighter here, darker in the inside, and then the edge. So now I have the overall shape and lighting. Now if I really wanted to, now I can go in and clean it up a little bit. And, you know, make it a little bit more presentable, and add in just some details in some area. You know, we don't have to go overall on everything. Just a little bit of detail sometimes really helps, just in some area. Okay, so now I'm slowing down. which I really don't like. And then here's the shadow again. Okay, this is way off, but it's okay. We can correct that. Just adding in some variations because the skin is not smooth. See it inside. Okay. All right, so let's see between those two. Yes, see, this one is just, it feels a little bit dead, right? This one feels a little bit more lively, just a lot quicker sketching. All right, let's do it one more time, and this time let's see if I could draw it kind of like more professionally. And now that I'm kind of warmed up, all right, let me use another piece of paper. All right, let's try one more time, and this time I'm gonna be a little bit more, I guess try to be a little bit more professional in my shading if I can. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me sketch this real quick. This will be the third time. Hopefully it'll get better. And sometimes not, because it looks like I'm off already. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just go with it, because I really want to talk about the shading. Okay, so shading, if I actually knew what I was doing, and you see a lot of artists do this, they're very precise in their way of shading. So I'm just gonna start on the top right here. There's not a lot of cross-hatching lines. They don't go over it much, but they'll hit it like this, and they'll get it right on the first time. So it could be a little bit slower, but they don't go over a lot. It's just like, I wish I can do it better. So like here, they'll do this. This can be darker. So here's the dark area. It's a little bit more deliberate, but it's, in terms of shading, it's a little bit like they're able to hit that and know exactly the value of it almost. I think that just comes with practice. So like this part here, this is gonna be dark. I'll fade it out. Dark. Dark. Bounce light here. Then right here is dark. Let's see. Instead of like going, just all over the place, just be a little bit more deliberate. So this part's darker. Dark here. A little bit darker on the bottom. Highlights right here. Yeah, I don't know if this is turning out well. It doesn't look too good. But basically, more precise in the shading, and hopefully, without going over it too many times. Curves, lines. Let's round this out a little bit. Darker inside. Let's add in some of the lines on the outside. Yeah, I don't know if this is turning out well. Maybe I have seen some videos where it's just so amazing that they put in a shade and it's right on, you know. Yeah, but this not so much, right? Okay, so obviously some part of this is wrong, but all right, let's just keep drawing it as I normally would. So now I'll just go in. Still trying to minimize my amount of shading here and try to get things accurate. Bottom here. So instead of doing, you know, things like this and then this to get it dark, immediately just go in and get it correct. That's what kind of what I'm trying to do. So now I'm just cross-hatching to get things get it more accurate. Right here, top darker. Darker here because this is going to be red. A little bit of bounce light here. I don't have my kneaded eraser, so okay, forget about that. I forgot to bring it out. Darker and a little bit lumpy. This part's dark. Right behind the pear, we can exaggerate that. To get this bounce light here, you have to make this part a little bit darker. The top is darker. This part needs to be darker. So I'm slower with the lines, trying to get the right pressure. Okay, maybe that'll be it for this. All right, so those, let's see, this one's a little bit cleaner. I tried. Again, I hope I can minimize the amount of strokes, but I couldn't because I just couldn't get the shape correct, and I just have to go in and just do more. And so here's my other two. So I started with that, and then a really quick one. You know, let's draw one more. Let's go one more. I'm gonna use a 6B. I'm just gonna see if I can wiggle in. See how this would look. Maybe it won't be much, but let's just draw this without using any lines at first. Try to shade it without using contour lines. Could be kind of interesting. There's all kinds of ways of drawing, and just kind of experiment and just have fun, you know. If you feel like doing something in a certain way, just try it out. Whether or not it works, it doesn't really matter. Because if nothing else, you know, you learn a lot about hand control. Shadow. Okay, obviously the forms, actually it's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of close to what I had before on my other drawings. Darker here. Okay, so yeah, fun stuff, right? Just 4 ways of drawing and very unique styles. I mean, different feel to it, which is kind of fun. And that's kind of what you want. If you're used to drawing your art one way, just try it out and draw in a different way and let's see how that goes. Because I think you actually learn a lot just by experimenting and doing crazy things like this. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick sketch, and I will see you next time.